read through the entire 80-page lawsuit that Blake Lively filed against Justin Baldoni, so you don't have to. And here are the highlights as far as what Blake said went on from her side to push her to this point. In the lawsuit, Blake said that Justin invaded her privacy, saying that he repeatedly entered her makeup trailer uninvited while she was getting dressed. She also said that there was a kissing scene with no intimacy coordinator present, and Justin wanted to refilm it several times, past the point of what you would on a typical set. She also alleged that during another scene where there was no sound present, Justin was talking and not as his character, and he was kissing her from ear to neck and said it smells good. And then when Blake later brought up her concerns, he said, "I'm not even attracted to you." She also said that after she had already signed with the film, Justin then went in and added intimate scenes that weren't agreed to in advance. According to her, Justin also cast his best friend in the role of her character's doctor, which Blake shared made her super uncomfortable due to how close her doctor would be when she was pretending to give birth. She also said that he made comments about Blake's age, her father who had passed, and his previous conquests.
Justin Baldoni is about to reveal explosive evidence that has the potential to take down Blake Lively. In the past couple of weeks, Blake Lively has dropped a massive lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and his production company. A source who is involved in the situation is saying that Blake Lively is married to one of the most powerful men in town and represented by one of the most powerful publicists. So is she going to sit by meekly if she's actually being harassed on a film set and then hang on for 4 months after the film is released before making a complaint? It makes no sense. The source is also trying to discredit Blake Lively by saying, look, they never got on and Justin is just a very spiritual guy, and that some of the creepy behavior is just him being a hippy-dippy. Claim also alleges that Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan, one of Hollywood's most influential women, tried to smear Baldoni by planting stories with numerous news organizations, which, I mean, isn't that exactly what Justin Baldoni did or tried to do? Basically, this new lawsuit is just going to try and discredit Blake Lively by chalking everything up to a poor working relationship and just a simple misunderstanding. I don't know, guys, I'm just not buying it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Justin or Team Blake?
Justin Baldoni's lawyer just put out a statement saying that they plan on filing a countersuit against Blake Lively that'll shock everyone. This news just officially broke. Let's go over everything that Justin's lawyer is saying. Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, said, "I'm not going to speak to when or how many lawsuits we are filing, but when we file our first lawsuit, it is going to shock everyone who has been manipulated into believing a demonstrably false narrative." But wait, there's more. Justin's lawyer is saying that this countersuit will be supported by real evidence and tell the true story. In over 30 years of practicing, he supposedly has never seen anyone with this level of quote-unquote unethical behavior intentionally manipulating the media. It's very common for a countersuit to come about in cases as such. And if anyone else hasn't noticed, Justin has not said a single word over the past week or so on social media. I have a feeling that he's being guided to not say anything currently, and Blake hasn't said anything publicly either. What do you guys think? Justin Baldoni's lawyer just put out a statement saying that they plan on filing a countersuit against Blake Lively that'll shock everyone. This news just officially broke. Let's go over everything that Justin's lawyer is saying. Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, said, "I'm not going to speak to when or how many lawsuits we are filing, but when we file our first lawsuit, it is going to shock everyone who has been manipulated into believing a demonstrably false narrative." But wait, there's more. Justin's lawyer is saying that this countersuit will be supported by real evidence and tell the true story. In over 30 years of practicing, he supposedly has never seen anyone with this level of quote-unquote unethical behavior intentionally manipulating the media. It's very common for a countersuit to come about in cases as such. And if anyone else hasn't noticed, Justin has not said a single word over the past week or so on social media. I have a feeling that he's being guided to not say anything currently, and Blake hasn't said anything publicly either. What do you guys think?
We plan to release every single text messages between the two of them. We want the truth to be out there. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipts.
Justin Baldoni is firing back after Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against the actor, accusing him of unprofessional and sexually inappropriate behavior on the set of It Ends With Us. She also accused him of coordinating a smear campaign.
Was there a coordinated smear campaign to bring down Blake Lively?
100% no.
Baldoni is now suing the New York Times after the paper published a story about Lively's allegations.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
Baldoni claims that the text messages in Lively's lawsuit were taken out of context or excluded. The New York Times said in a statement that they stand by their reporting and plan to vigorously defend against the lawsuit. Lively said previously that she hopes her suit helps pull back the curtain on these sinister retaliatory tactics to harm people who speak up about misconduct.
I called it, guys. I called it. Justin Baldoni just filed a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times for helping Blake Lively on this smear campaign against him. So many of you guys were so mad at me saying, you're not a girl's girl, you don't believe in women when they tell you these things. Just because you don't like her doesn't mean that she's not also a victim. Now again, he filed a lawsuit against the New York Times because they were the ones who helped her get the story out. She simply filed a complaint against him because then that takes her out of the discovery mode, right? Which means she didn't have to make any claims on the record. And man, in this lawsuit, he came with receipts. They said that there were false claims of sexual harassment, and he came with receipts of her basically saying that her costumes needed to be sexier. He also had receipts and text messages of her inviting him into her trailer while she was breastfeeding, which are all things that she tried to claim he did to her unwillingly. And they're also saying that she filed these false claims because she wanted to assert her dominance and have control over every aspect of production in this movie. Which is exactly what I said from the beginning. She is an entitled, spoiled little brat who wasn't getting her way, and her husband, Delulu, came in thinking that they were going to make that happen. And now Justin Baldoni came back with receipts. So think of this, just like I told you before, next time you want to sit around and be a girl's girl, regardless of the other shoe dropping, I hope you remember this right here. And again, it is still a lawsuit, so anything can happen, but he actually filed the lawsuit. She filed the complaint. Two very different things. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Here's what I think happened. I think Blake Lively legitimately did not believe. I think when she had all that bad press happening, she could not fathom that people didn't like her. I think she truly believed that Justin Baldoni was behind it. I don't think she did this to create a narrative. I think she saw it and said, this has to be him. This has to be him. And unfortunately, I think she was wrong. And so I think to counter that bad PR, and she saw her reputation going down, she decided to play what she thought was an equally nasty PR game by filing this lawsuit in the civil rights court, never with the intention of ever having to then take it to the real courts. I don't think that she ever wanted that. Unfortunately, she was wrong. She filed it, and the public then said, wait a second, are you playing a PR game rather than Justin Baldoni? And now she had to back that up by really filing it in court. And what's going to happen is now the entire public is going to see what happened, who was leaking stuff to who. And like I said, my money is on Blake Lively being wrong. I think she is 100% wrong. This doesn't make him a good guy, doesn't make Justin Baldoni a great guy. Please do not think I'm a Justin Baldoni stan. I know nothing about him, and I hate 90% of Hollywood. But in this circumstance, I just think he's going to win the lawsuit. And I think New York Times, based on what I have seen of what I would describe as doctored correspondences, doctoring it by not giving people the full correspondences, is going to end up having to settle this lawsuit and paying Justin Baldoni, as well as the PR women that are listed in this lawsuit, paying them out for misrepresenting what they actually said. That's my take. You can agree with it. You can not agree with it.
Think about this. On what, could have been one of the most beautiful nights of my life career-wise, I literally was sent to the basement with all my friends and family for over an hour because I wasn't allowed to be seen. She didn't want me anywhere near her or the rest of the cast. So they ushered me off the carpet and they sent us down to the basement. We were down there together, my friends and family, the people that love me the most, and we start laughing because of the ridiculousness of this whole thing. And I realized, on a night that was supposed to be so materialistically joyful, I was in the basement with the people that I love the most, and we were all joyful and laughing. Because none of that shit matters. None of it. That's not why we're in the business. That's not why the three of us are in this business, is to attend a premiere like that and be celebrated. We're in this business because we're artists. And we believe in what we do. And because we want to create art that touches people's hearts and souls and can move people. And that's what we did. That's what you both did. And I believe that will follow each of us, and that truth will prevail, and that light and love will win.
You should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have. Well, thank goodness.
You were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen
that?
That
I actually just saw it too. It was on Instagram yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Tough Topic. My name is Brittany, and I'm sure most of you have caught wind of the Blake versus Justin lawsuit. And day by day, it gets messier and messier, and it actually reminds me of the Heard versus Depp case, yet difference by slight, they were never romantically involved. In real life, that is. On the set of the romantic film, It Ends With Us, literally ended with the main character, Blake Lively, trying to end Justin, who is her romantic partner, as well as the director for the film. The movie comes from the book and trying to portray real scenes from the novel. On August 9th, 2024, after the movie came out, the press tour involved Blake, no Justin. The internet and media figured out there was more going on behind the scenes and really drew closer to what Justin had to say because of Blake declining to do press for the movie, but instead did a bunch of press for her hair care line versus everything that she should have been doing for the movie. On December 21st, Blake files a 79-page federal complaint against Justin, and here is what she's accusing him of. She said that he would walk in on her when she was topless. He would push for more sex scenes that she did not approve of. She said during their scenes, he would get too passionate and there was no intimacy coordinator. She also says that he would show her pictures of naked women and tell Blake about his past intimate relationships. Also stating that
in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni war, both sides. So that's good to know.
When I tell you, I cannot get on here fast enough to show you this interview between Justin Baldoni's lawyer and TMZ. I can't even believe TMZ actually aired this interview, to be honest. My jaw was on the floor. TMZ basically just made the argument that both of them are in the wrong, both of them are doing the same thing, and they have been in the middle of the entire situation. Well, then Justin Baldoni's lawyer says, well, fine, you are now going to be a expert witness. Just listen to this interview. I was in shock.
Get the allegation. I really do understand that. But when it comes to publicists trying to manage a story, plant a story, skew a story, kill a story, we've seen that from every publicist in this town. So I don't understand why this case is different.
I think you'd have to ask Blake Lively and her people, because they're the ones that started this case. And they started this case by claiming there was a smear campaign. And what I'm about to show everyone, frankly, are the receipts that show it's not a smear campaign. As a matter of fact, the smear campaign was started by Leslie Sloan and Stephanie Jones. And it's all right there for everyone to see.
Both sides tried to skew this story because we've been on the recipient end of that. Justin's team, Blake's team. We're on that receiving end. We've seen it. So that's the part I don't get.
Well, I'd say this, Harvey, you just kind of made yourself a witness. So what I would say is say...
Well, that's okay. I'm okay with that because I could talk about things that Blake's team did to him and things that Justin's team did to Blake. And I could talk about both.
You might be an expert witness, actually. And because you've been doing it for so long.
Because it sounds like something that we have seen for 19 years, Brian, that publicists, that's what they do.
All right, if you thought Blake Lively's text messages were bad, get ready, because apparently there's footage. And Justin Baldoni's legal team says they're ready to mention it all. They claim they have footage, emails, text messages, all to back up the fact that Blake Lively is misrepresenting some of these claims that she alleges against Justin Baldoni, or just flat out making them up altogether. They also confirm plans to sue Ryan Reynolds, because they claim if Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively allege that this harassment was so persistent and she's emotionally distressed by it, then why was Ryan Reynolds making fun of it in his new film, Deadpool and Wolverine? Which in it we see him wearing a man bun, which we've seen Justin Baldoni wear. He calls himself Nice Pool. He calls himself a feminist. He references a podcast. He references losing baby weight. And he even mentions an intimacy coordinator in the scene, which sounds like a direct shot at Justin Baldoni, which again, if the harassment was at the level that Blake Lively is claiming, why would you poke fun at it in your film? Baldoni's attorney sat down with Megyn Kelly. I know there are a lot of feelings about Megyn Kelly, but I will tell you this interview was actually really good. She makes a lot of good pro-Blake Lively points in the interview as well, so it is pretty objective, and she grills him, and it's actually very interesting. So if you want more details and you want a more objective interview about the Lively versus Baldoni stuff outside of my podcast, I would recommend listening to Megyn's interview.